Hi, my name's Jonathan Hicks. I'm back at the Dice Cup, and this evening I'm joined by
Steve.
Matt.
Steve.
and we've just finished playing Sagrada. Now, I think this is named after the Sagrada Familia, some church in Spain, and you're building sort of stained glass windows within the church. You're picking from a selection of dice each turn, and you've got to put them in here to make nice, colourful displays. You can see there's a complete one. That was Steve's at the end of the previous game. But you're trying to do them in certain ways. It's kind of rules about what numbers, for instance, you can only put 5s on the 5 spots, only blue dice will go on the blue spots, white will take anything, which is quite handy. In terms of how you get points, though, because at the end of the game you're going to score, depending on how well you filled this, you have a secret objective. So in this case I was trying to get as many blue dice as I could, so these are quite good. In fact, this little thing at the start here slides out, so you actually get a choice of which starting grid you want. So I might look at this and go, oh yes, I need blues, so I'm going to pick one that's got lots of blues in. But then each each round, the first player will roll some dice and you pick one. So I might pick this 5, and to start with it has to go on the edge, so I could put that there. And then everyone else goes around and they pick a dice, and the last person picks 2 dice, and it comes all the way back round to me if I was first player. So at this point I'm looking for blue dice. There aren't any blue dice. I'll just take this red too. Now, you can't put numbers next to each other, and you can't put colours next to each other. So I couldn't put a yellow next to this one, and I couldn't put a 5 next to this one, even if it would be sort of legally allowed here. So this red 2 though is fine. I'm going to put this here because now it gives me more options for where I can place dice. They've got to be adjacent to the previous ones you've placed. So there's an awful lot of restrictions in this game in terms of what colours go next to each other, what numbers, the actual spaces on here, being connected. So you've really got to think each time. Now, if you find you sort of end up looking at dice and going, oh, I just can't place anything, there are also these special abilities that you're looking for here. So in this game, this gives you an option to re-roll the dice. This one lets you flip a dice you've just picked onto its opposite side, and this one lets you place a dice that's not adjacent. In order to use these though, you've got to spend these sort of jewels. You start with a certain number of them and you kind of spend them as you go through the game. And then finally, in terms of the scoring, as well as getting points for the number of pips on blue dice, so I'd add up all the pips on all my blue dice. In this game, and it's variable each time, we were getting points for having different numbers in each column, so you can't have the same number in a column, pairs of 5s and 6s, and then different colours in each column. But these, as I say, are different, so it does add variety each time you play. Whoever has the most points at the end of the winner. What do you think?
This is a lovely implementation. It reminds me of Blueprints, which is another game I like, about you trying to hope that certain coloured dice with the right numbers come up so that you can fit them in your grid very well. Like Jonathan said, there's so many restrictions, the adjacency restrictions, the colour restrictions, the restrictions you've got on your own board. You can place diagonally adjacent to when you're filling your board up, but with all those other restrictions, and then the point scoring restrictions as well. So like, oh brilliant, I'll fit it on, oh it's not going to score me anything, or whatever. You'd lose points if you have holes at the end, but trying to fill those as well. So the very first game I played, I filled my board, but I didn't focus on the points. I didn't focus on what actually got me points, and that extra restriction just kind of goes, whoa. Yeah, it's really nice, and you kind of draft them clockwise and anti-clockwise, so whoever gets the first pick gets the last pick. So sometimes that first pick's brilliant because you definitely get a dice you've been hoping for. Sometimes the last pick's awful because you have to use some of your jewels to kind of flip it around. Yeah, it's a really good game, I like it.
Matt?
Yeah, again, really nice game. With the drafting thing, there's a bit of trying to work out what your opponent's going to do as well. If you've gone early, you can go, well, there's that one that I could play, or that other one that I could play. Let's see, is anyone else going to pick those? No, I think they're safe. I'll leave that and take this other one that I don't need as much, but I'm pretty sure that one's going to come back. So yeah, there's a little bit of kind of psychology in trying to predict your opponent's moves as well, and yeah, the whole, so many things to think about what I can place, what I'm trying to place, and not just what you're placing right now, but what it's going to allow you to place later. So if you have a square that needs to be yellow, you've got to make sure you don't put anything yellow next to it. And things like that. So if you're trying to put different values in a column, you don't want to put a 5 and a 6 in that column if they're not the colours that you're scoring the faces of, because ideally you want to, if you're scoring, I'm scoring red, If I put a blue 5 and a yellow 6, then if I can put a red in that column, it's going to be a 4 at most, so that's not going to be as good if I want to stick with the multiple different numbers. So yeah, all those kind of things just makes it so much to think about, and it's really good. Yeah.
Okay, Steve?
This is a lovely little puzzle game. This is a game that I've wanted for ages. This is actually my copy that I bought for myself for my birthday, so November the 10th, send me happy birthday messages. That would be awesome. I think everything that needs to be said has already been said already, mainly by Steve. He's got a really good grasp on this game, how it works, and there's really nothing much more to be said about this game. Really good game. It's actually a Kickstarter game, which unfortunately I missed out on, but glad that I've been able to pick it up now.
Rating out of 10?
I'd say it's a solid 8.
Okay. Matt?
Yeah, 8.
Okay, Steve?
8.5.
Oh, okay. The component quality is great, and the game is really well designed. It is a really good game. Personally though, it's such a brain strain. The whole time I'm thinking, I can't put this there, but that's got to go there, and I don't know if you followed Matt's description earlier, but it really feels like the whole way through I've got to do this with this, and I can't do that with that, and I found it just stressful all the way through. It's definitely one that's going to benefit from replay, and some people are going to love this game. It is a really good game, but it was just too much for me. I think I'd be on a 6.5, but not because it's a bad game. I just, that feeling of the tension all the way through was a bit too much for me personally. All right, thanks for watching. That was Sagrada.